On this independent off-tube studio commentary from the conclusion of the group stage of the World Cup 2026. The final two games are being played right now, and it is going to be Jordan against Argentina that we're covering. The other game on our service, of course, features Austria against Algeria, where potentially everyone from the investigative team within FIFA are going to be keeping a keen eye on what those two sides are going to be doing. But in this game, it's a lot more straightforward. Jordan know they can't qualify regardless of what they do, and Argentina just trying to conserve their energy, keep their powder dry for the group, for the knockout stage, which they've already got through. So it should potentially be quite a routine game. Let's hope there's still going to be a bit of entertainment from Argentina's point of view. Jordan, of course, have absolutely nothing to lose, so hopefully they can try and approach the game like a bit of a free hit. We'll see how it all plays out here in Arlington this evening. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz, and Luke Ashurst. Think of action. Luke, it has the potential for being a little bit of a slow, quick, but hopefully there will still be some quality.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I covered a similar game a couple of days ago between Turkey and the United States, where Turkey knew they were guaranteed to finish bottom. The US knew they were guaranteed to finish top of their group, and I saw 5 goals in that game. Was it a thriller despite the 5 goals? No, it wasn't. But you saw Turkey take the handbrake off a little bit at times. You saw Arda Güler really flex his muscles. And you also saw a few Americans really, try something that they maybe wouldn't ordinarily do in order to try and prove that they can be useful in the knockout stage. So maybe we see a little bit of that from Argentina. Maybe we see Nico Paz try and prove that he can be trusted by Lionel Scaloni in the knockout stage. Yes, not in front of Messi, but maybe as an option elsewhere on the pitch. Maybe we see a bit more from Alvarez and Martinez playing in their usual sort of number 9 positions. Giovanni Simeone's been given that role at right back as well. So there are players who are there to prove themselves. And for Jordan, they never know when they're going to get back to a World Cup, do they? So this is the final 90 minutes they've got to enjoy themselves effectively. Do you know what? Similar to a number of teams that have finished bottom of their groups, a first-time World Cup, or one of very few World Cups the countries qualify for. I actually think in their final group stage game, they've gone out and enjoyed themselves, and they've given a good account of themselves, as Jordan have given a reasonable account of themselves throughout the group stage. So yeah, I think this could be a really interesting one.
Let's hope so, because already inside the first 2 minutes, there's barely been a touch of the ball for Jordan, so they may be chasing shadows for long spells this evening. I'll just remind you of the sides very quickly. It is Abulana in goal for Jordan, a back 3 of Nazib, Al Arab and Abu Dahab. Then it's 4 across the middle, Haddad, Al Dashtan, Al Rabday and Abu Taha, with Al Azay, Ali Olwan and then Al Fakori as the attacking 3. I'll do the Argentina side at the moment because they were on the attack, with the ball out towards the left-hand side is overhit, and so it is out for a goal kick. For Argentina is Emi Martinez in goal, then a back 4 of Simone, Otamendi, Senesi and Tagliafico. Paz, Paredes, Palacios and Lo Celso make up the midfield, with Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez as the 2 up front, and Lionel Messi is on the bench this evening. Just saw himself on the big screen. But do you think he'll make an appearance tonight?
I'd be very, very shocked. I'll be brutally honest. If he does, I can't imagine it'd be for any more than 10 minutes or so at the end of the game. To get
for benefit, isn't
it? To get some minutes in the tank, but you may as well wrap him up in bubble wrap for this game, and that's exactly what Scaloni's done, leaving him on the bench. It is interesting though that he is the only player to score a goal at the World Cup for Argentina so far. Ordinarily, I'd say it's a little bit of a concern, but it's not like he's a player going through a purple patch and you're worried that might stop at any point. He's the greatest footballer of all time. He's probably going to get a few more at this tournament, isn't he, and contend for the Golden Boot. So this is an opportunity, yes, for players to get on the scoreline and show that they're more than capable of complementing Messi, but I also wouldn't be too concerned if I was Argentinian about the fact that nobody else has scored just yet.
Well, Argentina certainly seeing a lot of the ball, and so far not really been able to make too much progress towards the penalty here, but they are in position now here with Lo Celso going back towards Paredes, the only starter for Argentina this evening who's on a yellow card. Just rolling this ball back towards Palacios, and then Lo Celso just rolling it back towards Otamendi. So we will be keeping an eye on what's happening in the other game as well. Just to remind you, if you missed it earlier this evening, Colombia drew 0-0 with Portugal, and DR Congo were a goal down at half-time to Uzbekistan, but they were able to turn it around in the second half, getting a 3-1 win to cement their advancement through to the knockout stage as one of the better third-placed sides. It's currently goalless in the other game between Algeria and Austria. As I say, it'd be fascinating to hear from our two colleagues covering that game at halftime exactly how that game is playing out. But so far here in Arlington, it is almost 100% possession here for Argentina, and they've pretty much just stuck to the area around the halfway line.
Yeah, they have done. Slightly unsurprisingly, to be honest, I think we're going to need players like Nico Paz and Julian Alvarez to drop deep and try and get involved in play to really cause some issues. It's not Lautaro Martinez's game to drop deep and get involved, and I can't imagine there'll be too many overly expansive passes being played by this Argentina side. So, yeah, it's about how we expected so far. I'm sure it'll get going at some point. I saw in the US game against Turkey that the US were a little bit disappointing in the first half. Mauricio Pochettino wasn't happy and got his side moving a bit quicker in the second half. So maybe we wait till the second half. I don't know, but yeah, you're absolutely right. It started how we expected, pretty tame.
Yeah, pretty tame. Well, there's a nice big section of Jordan fans in the crowd, so it's always good to see them. They're in good voice, but they're going to be a little bit disappointed now because a great chance. Argentina have taken the lead. The flag is up. Giovanni Lo Celso played into the box. Lovely little outside of the boot ball into the back bottom corner. But the flag goes up immediately. I
don't think he's offside here, Paul. I actually think he's timed this run pretty perfectly. We'll see from the replay now. Looking along the line, he's just gone too early. In real time, it looked like he timed it perfectly and had just managed to stay off of the back of Yazan Al-Arab. Lovely finish, as you mentioned, from the Real Betis man. He's always had that in his locker. Has Giovanni Lo Celso. Didn't quite work out for him at Tottenham, but I'm a big fan of his. I think he's a real technical footballer, and on that occasion just couldn't quite keep himself on side.
It's a shame because it was a lovely finish as well, just guiding that ball in with the outside of the boot, but the ball back in play, and after two passes, Jordan immediately under pressure, just trying to get that ball back under it, but they have got it under their control now, and it's Al Dashdan playing a ball down this left-hand side. It will be chased all the way here by Olwan. Just about keeps it in play here on the left, and he's got some support in the form of Abu Taha, but no options to get that ball into the penalty area. So they've had to go a long way back now of Jordan all the way towards the halfway line. Stepping forward now is Youssef Al-Arab, taking it over towards the right-hand side. Big touch there from Haddad. Looked up and just rolled the ball back towards the halfway line here for Nazib. No options here at all for Jordan to try and get that ball anywhere near the penalty area. It's going to be difficult, I think, because Argentina, the way they've set up, Jordan really are going to have to try and be a little bit more inventive as that ball is played across, and this time it's out for a throw to Argentina. So the first time we've seen Jordan in possession, but no progress at all.
No, not a huge amount of progress, but they are employing a really rigid 4-4-2 here, Argentina, so not overly surprising. At the end of the day, Jordan have struggled to break anybody down in this tournament, never mind two banks of four of real quality in this Argentina squad. So it is going to be difficult for them. They've got to take the moments when they get them, and maybe prey on some errors from the two centre-halves who, as good as they are, have got an error in them, Senesi and Otamendi. But yeah, as you said, that spell of possession just not really mounting to anything.
Yeah, so for the time being, Argentina back to their usual possession in midfield here as the ball is over on the right-hand side. Nicolas Paz just playing that ball back into the middle. There's a lot of pressing here from Jordan, but Argentina have got enough... as I say, the way they're moving the ball, you just get the feeling that it's down to them really to try and go through the gears and actually get that ball closer towards the penalty area. For the time being, they're just quite happy to sit on it, and Jordan aren't really able to press very high.
No, they're not. I think that's probably sensible though from Jordan. I don't think they'd be wanting to press particularly high against I think this Argentina side.
Yeah, they've got to try and just to sort of conserve their energy, and if they get an opportunity to break, then they'll try and take it. But Argentina over towards the right-hand side now. Paredes finding some support there from Palacios. Paz's ball back is a little bit loose, and that does actually give a chance here for Abu Taka to start a counter-attack. The ball down towards Olwan, gets a deflection, is out for a throw to Jordan on the left-hand side. So just taking a bit of time to restart play here. Showing a couple of Argentinian dignitaries in the crowd. So far, pretty quiet game, although they did have the ball in the net after an offside, but the ball played down the left-hand side, and Olwan is onside. If he can try and turn and get a cross in, does really well to keep his side in possession there, and his teammate actually gets in his way in the end, and eventually Argentina are able to get a throw on.
Yeah, that's poor over on that far side from Argentina. That ball down the line, it was far too easy for, I think it was Abu Taha to get involved, and yeah, in the end they're very fortunate, despite the fact the Jordanian forward managed to skip away from a couple of challenges. They were able to get the ball clear. It was not convincing at all over on that far side. 10 minutes in, yes, they've had to do very little defending, but you have to stay switched on. They know that's the case.
They really do. Ball down the left here is blocked. It was Abu Dahab with the pass, but it's deflected out for a throw here to Jordan on the left-hand side. And all the way back towards the edge of their own penalty area. And as Luke mentioned, this is a real important moment for Jordan to be at this World Cup. Whether or not they can follow it up, it's always difficult because the qualifying route for Asian, Middle Eastern teams is not easy. Got to get through their own qualifying and then potentially have playoffs against the other confederations before they can actually make it to the tournament, apart from the very top 2 or 3 sides that qualify automatically. So, and as you mentioned in our last game, of course, Iraq, 28 games to get to the World Cup.
Yeah, it's an obscene amount, it really is. And yes, you could argue some of them are against much weaker opposition, but the fact of the matter is 28 games is a lot of games where you can potentially slip up, and a number of those 28 games are playoffs, which is just, you're asking so much of these
some of them
teams.
are just one-off playoffs as well. There's not even a home and
Exactly.
away. It's just whichever side is higher ranked, or the coefficient, whichever they get to be the home team, and that's it. Or occasionally they do them at neutral grounds as well. But yeah, credit to Jordan for making it to the competition, but it's just been a bridge too far. But that's really good work there down the left-hand side from Simone, getting all the way to the edge of the area. Great run this into the penalty area. Gets a cross in, but that's a good covering challenge from Hassam Abu Dahab. Gets a deflection away, and it's a corner.
Great run from Giovanni Simeone. It really is a fantastic bit of play. He really impressed me every time I've seen him play for Atletico Madrid. It's one of those where, yes, his manager's the dad, which I always find funny, but he is a player who you can see has got real quality, and I get the feeling. I get the feeling that he'd be in that Atletico Madrid side whether his dad was the manager or not, and he's shown there his quality over on the far side, skipping away from a few in Jordanian colours, and it does really, really well to win the corner. A chance for the ball to be swung into the penalty area.
Yeah, referee just doing a little bit of housekeeping. Istvan Kovac, by the way, is our referee. UEFA referee from Romania. Corner coming in. It's a header on at the near post, just on the near post side, edge of the 6-yard box. Leaping towards that was Otamendi, but the angles were against him there, and it's over the bar.
Really poor marking though, isn't it? Yes, he gets to the near post, and it's going to be a difficult chance, but he is left free from the run-up from Lo Celso over on the far side. Has to be better from Jordan inside the penalty area. Argentina have got a number in this side who are decent in the air. Otamendi, Senesi, Martinez, Alvarez, Paredes I've seen look half decent inside the penalty area from balls into the box, so they have to stay switched on. You can't. Last thing you want to do against Argentina or against any top side is give them easy goals, particularly from set pieces. You know, if it's a bit of magic, as we saw over on the far side from Simeone, there's not much you can do. But don't make it easy. It was really, really poor marking.
It really was poor marking, as we're getting a replay of that. It's offside in the 7th minute. Actually, from our camera perspective, it looked like Lo Celso's shoulder had gone offside. Now, from that full official FIFA replay, it's actually his whole body.
It is worth noting, though, that if Arsene Wenger had his way, that goal would have stood because his trailing foot was onside. And if Arsene Wenger gets the rule changes that he would like, as long as one part of the body is onside, then you can't be offside, which I don't think I'm the biggest fan of, I'll be honest.
I'm not a fan of that at all.
I'd love to know how many goals Peter Crouch would have had counted if one of his long levers had managed to stay onside.
You could argue that about almost every goal, really. I mean,
yeah, you could.
And in addition to that, I mean, what I would like to see is it possible to have maybe just one calendar year without any rule change in football, just so that everybody can understand exactly? Because I mean, the fact that managers, pundits alike, have been jokingly and seriously saying for years now they don't understand the offside. Well, the offside rule maybe less so, but certainly the handball rule seems to be confusing people because they keep changing it. It's changed at least 10 times in the last 20 years. So it does make it very, very difficult for people to understand exactly what a handball is and what it isn't. But possession in this game after 14 minutes in Arlington, 14% for Jordan, 82 for Argentina. If they'd have done that after about 10 minutes, or certainly after about 8 or 9, probably would have been about 95% in favour of Argentina. Since then, Jordan have enjoyed a little spell of possession, even crossing the halfway line, but nothing really for Emi Martinez. He's not even had any kind of work to do so far. The Argentina goalkeeper. It's now for a throw to the Argentina now on the left-hand side. Tagliafico waiting to restart play here. And he's got options left and right. He goes back towards the halfway line now here for Marcos Senesi. Now it's with Otamendi. Slows his move down, goes towards Paredes. Paredes now down to Tagliafico on the left-hand side. A little bit more pace in what Argentina are doing, but maybe I'm just saying that being hopeful because it is a very slow, timid start to this game, as you would expect. One side knows they're going home, the other side knows they're going through, and they've made changes as well. It's potentially going to take a little time for this sort of slightly unusual starting 11 for Argentina to actually get into their gears.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm seeing spaces open up in the midfield, and there just aren't players in navy blue who are occupying them. Which is interesting. I'm sure that'll develop as the game goes on, but it just comes down to, fortunately, FIFA trying to change things. I think hopefully they'll realise that there's been too many games come the end of these group stages where teams know where they're going to finish and know what they need, and and you get dead rubbers like this.
Well, it's weird, isn't it? How they've gone to the trouble of allowing because of the uneven number, the 48 doesn't divide into a knockout competition, so they've got to try and mix it up and getting the third place sides in as well. But the fact that they've done that, you'd think that it would make the groups more exciting because there's more games to be played. But of course, because they're using the head-to-heads rather than the goal difference, it does mean that you then have teams that after 2 games know they're definitely going out. So it's a difficult balance. I think that they are trying their best. As I say, 48 teams at a World Cup. If FIFA had their way, there would have already been 64 at this World Cup, and they're going to push that through sooner or later as well, which ironically makes it the groups easier because that divides it to 32 and 16. But whether or not it's going to dilute the quality even more, that remains to be seen. But Paredes now spots a good ball down the right-hand side, and Simeone's got forward, and he's got support in the form of Palacios. Ball then played in towards Alvarez, who's dropped a little bit deeper. Alvarez's ball down the channel is blocked, but then there's a chance. There's a challenge right at the edge of the area, and Istvan Kovac straight away with the yellow card for Abu Taha. Mohamed Abu Taha is not happy with that one, but it's definitely not going to be a penalty. It was outside the area, but a good chance now for Argentina.
Yeah, he feels like he poked the ball away and then follows through on the man. I'm not so sure. We'll see from the replay now. He gets a toe on the ball. I think the problem is because it's 50-50 and he catches the man, the referee sees it as a foul. I can understand the frustration. Do I think it was a yellow card? Maybe not, but we know from our time commentating on European football that Istvan Kovac is certainly a card-happy referee. In fact, actually, he gets a bit more of the ball, as we can see from that angle, than maybe it looked on first viewing.
He's quite unlucky there, William, and his foot has gone onto Lo Celso's, but he got the ball, really, and I think he can count himself as unlucky to have given away a free kick and to got booked for it as well. But now right-footed Alvarez and left-footed Lo Celso are standing over this one. It's just a yard away from the edge of the area, just to the right-hand edge of the D. So it really is a shooting opportunity only. There's no real option to try and cross this ball, and if they lay it off, they're just going to get closed down. So we'll see who's going to want to take it. One of the free kick candidates has just walked away from it. Goalkeeper here, Abulana, still trying to desperately organise his wall, but it's going to be the left foot of Giovanni Lo Celso trying to get this over the wall and into the net. The goalkeeper has moved 2/3 over to one side of his goal, so he really is encouraging the free kick here from Lo Celso. Lo Celso goes, he goes the other way! And the goalkeeper, just as he started to move to go behind his wall, he actually stepped away from where the ball is now gone, and Argentina take the lead as Lo Celso free kick.
I said about handing goals earlier on. What is the goalkeeper doing with that free kick? The wall's there for a reason. Let it do its job. Why is he ran behind it as the free kick comes in? It's so bad. But it's a great finish from Lo Celso nonetheless. Whether Abu Laila could have saved it if it was the other side of the wall, I've got no idea. What on earth is he doing? He's opened up 2/3 of the goal for Lo Celso to fire in. That is honestly absolutely shocking.
The goalkeeper's behaved in a most bizarre way, but take nothing away. The bend on that ball from Lo Celso.
It is beautiful. That's what I question. I'm not sure whether the goalkeeper could save it even if he doesn't move over, but I'm just absolutely bewildered by what on earth he thought was going to happen. Why on earth set up a wall if you're going to stand behind it? It's so bizarre. Great from Lo Celso, great awareness as well, because he'll have probably thought, you know what, I'm going to try and get this up and over the wall. He then sees the goalkeeper, changes quickly enough to fire into the far corner, but it is the mind boggles. It really, really does. That has genuinely left me stunned.
Yeah, as I say, I was just talking about the fact that the keeper is moving perhaps over a little bit too far away from where his wall is, but that didn't mean that wasn't me telling him to go all the way over towards the other side of his goal. Well, I was suggesting that maybe he should have been somewhere in the middle, but as I say, ironically, if he'd have stayed exactly where he was, he would have had the best chance of saving it. But now Jordan have given the ball away in midfield, and here's a chance for Argentina to get forward. The ball rolled towards Martinez. He just about keeps it alive, but then having to go back towards this right-hand side here for Simeone. Simeone back towards Otamendi on the halfway line. And as I say, generally speaking, over the years, I'll come back to I'll make a point in a second, because it's Argentina on the attack now with Lo Celso. Just checks his run at the edge of the penalty area and goes square to Paredes. The point I was going to make was that emerging nations playing at World Cups for the first time, or on very rare occasions, I often think that that's probably one of the easiest little litmus tests, is how technically sound the goalkeepers are. If they're not really sure how to behave with crosses and with set pieces, then you often think that that's a sort of telltale sign that they perhaps need a little bit more time at international level just to learn things like that.
That's not even professional level though, Paul. It's just the way he comes sprinting over to the other side of the goal. He just says, okay, to Lo Celso, he's 2/3 of the net that he's now just completely undefended. I've never seen that. I've watched a lot of pretty low level football. We're talking, step 7 of non-league in England, like really, really low level football. I've never seen that before in my life.
I think it may have just been rabbit in the headlines. I think he is playing in a World Cup game. He is playing up against a top Argentinian side. He's got his wall there. He's suddenly seen that it's a left footer, so he thinks, well, the left footer's clearly going to go over the wall and curl it into that corner. And he's just almost forgotten all of the rules he would have been taught by his goalkeeper coaches at youth level, at pro level, and at international level. And he's just panicked and gone where he thinks the ball's going to be. And as I say, I sort of called it in advance by saying that he's moved over too far to that side. But yeah, he certainly didn't need to run over towards the other side and be completely fooled by what Lo Celso did. But because of the goalkeeper's rather unusual antics, that's going to be remembered more for that goal. But take nothing away, it was a great free kick from Lo Celso, and 30 seconds early, our referee, just because the ball has gone out for a throw, Mr. Kovac will call time, and we'll have a hydration break. And yeah, it's as we expected, Argentina ticking over with a very steady possession, not taking too many chances, and it needed a moment of quality from a set piece for them to take the lead.
Yeah, it did. The game's been played out exactly as we expected, hasn't it? Really. I think maybe now that the goal's gone in and we're getting a hydration break, Jordan may come out in the second quarter of the game and put a bit more pressure on this Argentinian side, who've been a little bit slow so far, probably slower than even Lionel Scaloni would have liked at times. So I'm sure we're going to see a bit of an infusion of pace in this second quarter, so to speak. If we look towards the other game, slightly unsurprisingly, it's Algeria 0, Austria 0. There has been 2 shots in the first half, and so far in that one, neither on target, and it's about as close to even in terms of possession as well as you'd have thought as well.
And interesting to note that it's 0.02, so as in 2%. As a combined XG for the two of them together, so I mean, they are not trying at all based on that. So.
Well, who knows? Maybe defence is on top.
Potentially,
we'll go with that. I don't know.
We'll find out from our colleagues at half-time, and of course our listeners can find out now, because that game is of course available on our service, as every game at the World Cup has been and will be all the way through to the finals. We've just had our schedules handed out for the commentary teams, so we all know what we're going to be doing all the way up to the finals now. And as I say, the football continues, because later this evening, UK time, we're into the first game of the knockout stage from Los Angeles. It's going to be South Africa taking on Canada, one of the hosts. Canada paying the price for not finishing top of their groups, and now they're going to have to venture into the US for one of their games rather than playing on home soil. But where the drinks break has been and gone, and those Jordan players, they need to have a few new ideas as to how they're going to upset anything that Argentina are going to be doing in this game. We're coming up to 24 and a half minutes gone. It is Jordan 0, Argentina 1 from Arlington, and it will be Luke to take us through to half-time.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks very much. as much as I have been frustrated to see these quote-unquote dead rubber matches, and it kind of wished it wasn't the case, one thing I will say is it has been quite nice to see teams be able to celebrate a really solid group stage. We saw it first with Mexico, obviously being a home nation. The Azteca was bouncing in that one. We're seeing Argentina tonight, America the other night as well, having a good time. So there are the slight positives to take. Ultimately, I think the group stage has been a great success. I think they've been better than what people were expecting, to be brutally honest, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them, even if we have had maybe 3 or 4 pretty poor dead rubber games come the end of the group stages. Thoroughly though looking forward to the knockout phase. Argentina, in case you're wondering, by the way, get to play, I would argue, the story of the World Cup so far, and that's Cape Verde in the round of 32 before having the pleasure of playing either Australia or Egypt.
What a great story that is, though, for Cape Verde, for them to get to the World Cup. All right, they're up against Argentina, but in the knockout stage, it's almost, I don't even think you want a smaller team. If you're at Cape Verde, you want to play a big team, because most of the teams in the knockout stage are probably going to be higher ranked than you anyway, so why not come up against one of the big boys and really have an amazing day out of it?
Yeah, absolutely, and we saw what they could do against Spain, and anybody can beat anybody at a penalty shootout, so we'll see what happens in that one. But we're back underway in our game. It's Jordan 0, Argentina 1, 25 minutes gone, independent off-tube, studio-based commentary, as Nico Paz over on the far side has done well to win a throw-in up against Abu Taha. He's going to leave the throw to be taken by Simeone, who will throw into his current Atletico Madrid teammate Julian Alvarez. How long they will still be teammates in the Spanish capital, it remains to be seen. Alvarez pretty keen on a move away from Madrid, it has to be said, but of course nothing agreed just yet between anybody. Apparently Arsenal are linked with potentially a swap move with Victor Gyökeres involved. We'll wait and see how that develops. I would very much enjoy seeing Julian Alvarez play for Arsenal, as Simeone now ball over on the far side. That's a decent pass to him from Lo Celso, and in the end the ball just kicked against Abu Dahab, and that's out of play for a corner over on the far side. Another set piece opportunity for Argentina.
Yeah, good opportunity this now. Lo Celso, the goal scorer, he actually put the ball there. I thought it might be a wicked in-swinger from the Argentine number 11, but he actually leaves us, and it's going to be Paredes with an out-swinger from the right-hand side. Yeah,
the Boca Juniors man ready to float this one into the penalty area, right-footed out-swinger, and he will indeed float it towards the penalty spot. Otamendi's up, he heads behind more than anything, but the chance still there as Simeone brings it down on his thigh, feeds Tagliafico, left side of the penalty, off the crossbar, huge opportunity, on the rebound, saved! Brilliant bit of goalkeeping there. Alvarez has hurt himself in the process. It's so close to a second for Argentina. Ball towards the near post was fired off the crossbar by Lautaro Martinez after a lovely cross in from Tagliafico. He's onside Lautaro Martinez, so it would have stood, but he hits the crossbar with his little dink, and then Alvarez, I think, has been caught in the face there with the challenge, as I think the goalkeeper makes the save. Let's have a look from the replay. Yeah, it's a great save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, the reactions there from the goal. Unfortunately, we can't see exactly what happened to Alvarez because there were defenders in the way. We'll see from this angle now. Ooh, that's a full boot to the face there.
It certainly is. It's hard to say it's a hybrid. It's actually Marcus Senesi who's been caught, not Julian Alvarez, in quite a bit of discomfort. The Bournemouth man, and the referee is going to have a look to see if this is worth overturning from a corner to a penalty.
Could it be a red as well, potentially?
I think that'd be harsh.
It would be harsh. I think
slow to try and head towards goal.
To actually say that he wants to kick him in the face is probably a bit much. But in the meantime, we have a goal elsewhere. It's Algeria 0, Austria 1.
Well, that is really rather shocking. It has to be said. But Austria desperate to confirm their position as second place in that group. Why they'd want to do that, I've got no idea, because it would mean they'd face Spain in the round of 32 rather than Switzerland. No disrespect to Switzerland, I think I would rather play the Swiss than the European champions. There was a bit of a pause there as the referee had a word with Jordan captain Ehsan Haddad. But he is indeed going to have a look at the monitor now, the referee. Do you know what? I think this is harsh. I don't think that's a high boot. I really don't. He's had a very quick look at it, as Istvan Kovac, and I think he's probably going to point. Oh, no, he's gone back. He looked like he was walking away.
He's having some doubts, I think, now, the referee. And
I just don't think it's a high boot, Paul. I think that's a reasonable height to stick your foot in. So if Senesi's going to duck down on that, it's just an unfortunate risk of the game.
It is. I think that there is certainly some truth in that, some logic in that, and I would actually be surprised. The referee is going to give a penalty here. The fact that he's taken so long. I must admit, I don't like the way Ashurst Haddad is following the referee. It's from a sort of a neutral perspective, it is quite comical to see that, because referees are always trying to have that sort of space when they're looking at the monitor and stuff. But the fact is that it has been given as a penalty, and this will be a chance now for Argentina to double their lead.
Yeah, it will be. I'm just trying to work out who it is. Is it Al Rashdan who sticks his foot in there? Yeah, it is. It is the number 21. So it's Al Rashdan who's given away the penalty. I feel like it's harsh. Thankfully, Marcus Senesi is going to be okay to continue by the looks of things. He's back on his feet. But I do think that is a really quite harsh decision. But chance now for Lautaro Martinez to make it 2. We've already seen one set piece converted. Can we make see a second? This time from the penalty spot. Martinez, for his first World Cup goal of the tournament, takes a deep breath as he steps up to it. It takes a stuttered run up, but fires into the bottom left corner. Brilliant finish from Lautaro Martinez, who reels off in celebration towards the corner flag. Lovely moment for him as the Argentinian squad go over to celebrate. Really nice penalty from Lautaro Martinez. It's Jordan 0, Argentina 2, half hour gone.
Yeah, half hour gone. It's all too easy for Argentina, really. Jordan have barely been able to go over the halfway line, barring a few moments of possession. But now Lautaro Martinez is on the score sheet. It's important for him to get a goal at the World Cup as well. Very confident penalty. Slightly stuttered run-up like most players like to do. But actually the contact itself is a decent one, and it's a very strong penalty.
Yeah, it really is a strong penalty from Lautaro Martinez. He'll be absolutely delighted with that, because it's also his first ever World Cup goal. I was almost certain he bagged one in Qatar when Argentina, of course, lifted the trophy, but actually never managed to find the back of the net in the Middle East, and so he'll be absolutely delighted to get his World Cup career going, shall we say, in front of goal. And Argentina now 2 to the good, and all of a sudden hoping Jordan, from a neutral point of view, could maybe grab a World Cup point this evening, but it looks as though those hopes are slipping away, and I think there'll probably be a few in Argentinian colours this evening who'll be thinking, I quite fancy getting on the score sheet tonight.
Absolutely, and now that they can see that it's going to be an issue, I think, for Jordan to maintain that kind of energy level and positivity he had at the start. We're getting a replay now of the Austrian goal. I mean, it's just a lob ball over the top, and the simplest finish there for Arnautovic.
Yeah, Austria's all-time top goal scorer, Marko Arnautovic. They'll be absolutely delighted to get another there, although the celebration wasn't much, was it? That's not a nice tackle from Gio Lo Celso.
That's got to
halfway.
Be a booking, surely.
I think he will be yellow carded. That looked high up on the shin of Al Rabda. We'll see a replay of it now. Yeah, it's not a nice tackle. That probably ought to be a yellow card. Yeah, it is all one.
It gets caught there, but that's. I mean, if Lo Celso gets away with that, I mean, he has got away with it. It just goes to show it. I mean, that kind of challenge, if Mr. Kovac was refereeing a Champions League game, would be the bookies wouldn't even take a bet. That would always be a yellow card for him then.
Yeah, it would be. I think he's very, very fortunate there, Giovanni Lo Celso, to not be cautioned for that challenge on Ali Olwan. But either way, play continues now with Jordan in possession. First spell of possession in quite some time, actually, as he straight past the halfway line. Haddad now, ball down line for Olwan, who's drifted onto this near side. He's away from the Celso here is Olwan. That's not a bad ball to the box, but Martinez is there to hold on to it. And there's a few choice words, shall we say, there. It looked like Fakori was having a word with Alaziza, saying you should have been making that run towards the near post. Either way, I'll break up, because Argentina driving forward now. As Alvarez won a corner over on the far side, I think he has. No, goal kick given by the linesman over on the far side. I think probably the correct decision in the grand scheme of things. Alvarez wasn't overly appealing for it, and an opportunity for Al Arab to get his side moving once more. Abu Laila now, the goalkeeper, in possession for Jordan. Fake to go onto the near side, and then we'll play it into midfield for Al Rashdan. Was he brought down from behind there by Nico Paz? Yes, he was, says the referee. So a free kick given to Jordan once more. Game getting a little bit bitty now as Jordan get a hold of the ball. Here it is on the near side with Haddad. Back now to Nassib, who will go into Al Arab under a bit of pressure from Lautaro Martinez. And he's given the ball away. Alvarez trying to play it in behind. Al Arab covers for his error and wins the ball back. And a chance now for the Asian side to potentially come forward. Here it is with Al Rashdan in midfield. Didn't really have anybody showing for him inside his own half. I thought he was fouled there from behind. Referee, though, says no, and play will continue with Argentina back in possession. Here's Paredes. Now that's a poor ball, trying to switch play, and easily intercepted in the end by Olwan, who will strike from distance. It's been blocked by Senesi. Still the chances there, though. Chip ball from the edge of the penalty area is blocked by Tagliafico, and out of play on the near side for a corner. It was actually Fakori who went for goal from distance, easily blocked by Senesi, but that's really poor from Leandro Paredes.
Not good from Paredes at all. Argentina don't want to get too lax. I mean, 2-0 with 11 minutes to go before half-time against Jordan. You'd think they're in a pretty comfortable spot, but giving away possession like that, now a set piece here and a chance to get the ball in with this in-swinger. Yeah,
left-footed in-swinger to come in from Al-Azaiza. It's easily cleared away, but long distance strike is blocked well in the end by Otamendi, who threw himself at that. I tell you what, it was travelling. I think it was Al Rawade, but in the end, comfortably blocked by Nikos Otamendi, I should say. And play will continue now with Jordan in possession, having picked the ball up inside their own half. Rashdan trying to play the ball down the near side. It's found its way to Ali Olwan. Back to Olwan once more. He plays a quick 1-2 with Al-Azaiza. Under a bit of pressure there from Simeone. He does well to hold off the challenge for playing it over onto the far side now for Abu Taha. Ball down the line is a decent one for Fakori. Back to Abu Taha, although he loses out to Nico Paz. Will try and turn away midfield. That's a loose touch, though, as a chance comes flying in from Otamendi. Was there a handball inside the penalty area? Referee says no. Play will continue. And now here come Argentina on the counter-attack. Simeone, far side, has been let free. Driving towards the final third. He's been held up well, though, in the end by Abu Habad. And that's going to be an opportunity now for Argentina to come forward once again after the clearance was made. I have to say, the ball came flying towards him. You said handball straight away, Paul. I wasn't so certain. VAR will, of course, have a look.
I was probably, I certainly was, I wasn't certain, but I was asking the question as if, it looked like it could be a handball. Certainly a couple of the Jordan players were asking the question. I just saw another one of them run past the referee and sort of say to him what's happening, but it's not going out of play yet, so for the time being we'll have to wait and see whether any more is going to be made of that. But Jordan have won the ball up the field. Argentina, just in the last few minutes, have started to become very lax, and Jordan have had a few turnovers.
Yeah, here's Haddad driving forward, ball played in behind, looking towards Fakori, but that's a really poor pass from the skipper, and straight through to Emi Martinez. We're seeing another replay now. It's a potential offside for Lautaro Martinez. That's tighter than I think we originally thought, isn't it, Paul?
It really is, yeah. It really is. I didn't think he was as close as that to being onside. But in the meantime, we've not... I mean, the ball's been now back in place. They obviously must have checked the handball and there was nothing doing.
Yeah, no penalty given by VAR. As Argentina now will slow things down once more. I have to say, I love Emi Martinez's kit that he's got on this evening, that sort of turquoise blue. That's really, really nice. I also like that Argentina have got their numbers on their chest. I don't know, that sort of old-style numbering I really quite like. As again, that's really poor play, this time from Senesi on the near side. A loose touch, almost giving the ball away. Let's see this replay for handball. Oh, I tell you what!
He's leant into that with his arm, Lo
Celso. Yeah, Lo Celso's leant his arm forward. Ooh. The only thing I will say is...
shoulder first.
It's the sleeve. I think it comes off the sleeve, and if it does, it can't be handball because that's the cut-off, isn't it? The short sleeve.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably what saved him. But the move, I don't like. He does seem to lean in with his arm. But yeah, I completely agree that from that angle now we can see that it probably isn't a penalty. But why take the chance?
Yeah, totally agree. Argentina have given the ball away again once more. Here's Olwan, far side, ball into the box. Oh, it's flicked on there by Al-Azaiza, and out of play for a goal kick. Really good play from Olwan over on the far side, and that's a decent ball in that probably should have been made more of by Al-Azaiza.
He should have done, yeah, but he's just straining to even get on the end of that. But I've been impressed with how Jordan have come back since the hydration break and actually looked a lot more up for it, and at the same time it seems to have just knocked Argentina a little bit.
Yeah, they seem a little bit stunned, Argentina. Not really sure what's hit him since the second goal was scored. As ball fired onto the near side is gathered by Senesi. Back into midfield for Giovanni Lo Celso, who will carry the ball forward for being held up in the end by Al-Azaiza, who's probably had Jordan's best chance of the game so far, maybe even only chance, you'd say, with that header that's just gone. Senesi now into Lo Celso. Ball over onto the far side for Otamendi, who I believe at the moment is a free agent, having departed Benfica in Portugal for a decent spell with the Portuguese Giants. Here's Julian Alvarez though for the reigning world champions. Paredes over onto the far side for Nico Paz, who rumours are that he's going to remain at Como despite Real Madrid activating their buyback clause of the Argentinian youngster. He's desperate to remain in Italy and is happy to force his way out of Real Madrid. Not many players do that, do they? Force their way out of Real Madrid. But Nico Paz going to join a small list and remain under Cesc Fabregas in Italy.
Absolutely. I mean, as you say, it just goes to show how much he feels like he has really connected with Fabregas, and he wants to sort of maintain that. But yeah, it is unusual for players to really sort of try and make their way out of Real Madrid in that fashion.
Well, of course, we're playing Champions League football next season, no matter where he's at, Real Madrid or Como. Como qualifying for the first time in their history for Europe's premier competition. There's 40 minutes gone at AT&T Stadium in Texas. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's Jordan 0, Argentina 2, home of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T Stadium, fantastic arena, it has to be said. I mean, I'll be honest. There's plenty of speculation about what was going to be made of the stadiums at this World Cup. You know, didn't need to have any questions about the Mexican stadiums, did you? But the American and Canadian stadiums, were they going to be fit for purpose? They have been coliseums of football so far at this World Cup.
They certainly have. I mean, there's obviously in the background there's the issues over. We'll come back to that in a second because here comes Jordan now. Great chance.
Oh, what a run from Al Arab! Really great football from him, and eventually his move forward is thwarted by Ezequiel Palacios as Al Arab then pulls on the shirt of by a Leverkusen man, and that'll be a free kick to the Argentines. But lovely run from the centre half, and actually in the end it needed defending by Palacios.
It did, yeah, and he kind of stopped there just assuming the referee was definitely going to give him the free kick, and eventually the referee did just that. But going back to the point about the stadiums, yeah, the point's been made that a couple of them maybe perhaps just a little bit too far away from the city they're meant to represent, and there's been a few issues in terms of the sort of the transport costs to get there, etc. But putting that to one side, the actual stadiums themselves, the fact that they've been virtually full, and it's been a great tournament. But here come Argentina.
Nico Paz, what a run. This is down the far side. Ball to the penalty area. It takes a deflection, and it's away from anybody in navy blue and cleared out of play for a throw-in on the near side. Great run from the Como man. Still only 21 years of age, but really showing his worth so far in this one. It's a fantastic bit of attacking play over on the far side. So when taken quickly by Tagliafico, gets Argentina moving once more. Alvarez almost has the ball taken away from him, but here he goes again. Loose touch allows a chance to come in. Still Argentina have possession until Al-Azaiza can gather it in midfield. Was he fouled there by Lautaro Martinez? Yes, he was, says the referee. That'll be a free kick to Jordan, and a chance for them to get a hold of the ball once more. First attack for Argentina in quite some time, almost leading to a really good opportunity. That front two of Lautaro Martinez and Julian Alvarez, I just don't think is quite what Argentina need at the moment.
No, it's not, and they've struggled actually in the last 10-15 minutes to really get any kind of sustained possession. Never mind in the final third, but even in midfield.
Yeah, no, they've not been able to get a hold of the ball as of yet. Nico Paz not exactly known for his ball retention, and Paredes playing his football in Boca Juniors maybe a little bit off the pace.
Would you say it's 50-50 that Jordan have improved and Argentina have dropped off?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
It certainly is. Nico Paz has won the ball back really well. The Como man, excellent from him. Simeone driving forward, holds off the challenge nicely, then tries to force the ball to Alvarez. That's poor from Giovanni Simeone. Needs to be better. Argentina needs to be better in possession. So far, 21-year-old Nico Paz is standing up, many more experienced than him inside this Argentina squad, none less than Paredes and Lo Celso, who've gone missing in the last 15 minutes.
They have, completely have, and I just wonder whether or not Lionel Scaloni is potentially thinking about maybe making a double change at half-time just to sort of wake the team up a little bit.
Yeah, quite possibly. You look at the options on the bench, you've got Alexis McAllister, Enzo Fernandez, Nico Gonzalez, Rodrigo de Paul, Thiago Almada, all players who can play in centre midfield.
It's not a bad squad, is it?
It's certainly not, and they're all very much available. I would argue this Argentina squad is the only squad that on paper can really compete with the French squad. I mean, look, it comes down to a one-off match. Spain could absolutely beat France or Argentina. England could as well. Portugal in a one-off game. But in terms of on paper, when you look at the squad, player for player, I don't think there's any nation that competes with either France or Argentina.
Would you let Germany sneak into that list as well?
No, I definitely wouldn't. I think just for the depth that France and Argentina have got, it's beyond anything I've seen in world football for a long, long time. I'll break up because here comes Old One down the far side. Wants to run at Ezequiel Palacios. He's been held up well, but he still keeps hold of the ball here, Old One. Ball to the box is not a bad one. Eventually the challenge comes in from Senesi, who's harrying the man out to the penalty area. It's Alaziza who holds on to possession nicely. Here's the 24. Thought about the floated ball into the box. Instead, we'll link up with Arashtan onto the near side now for Haddad. Ball down the line is not a bad one. Looking towards Al Rabada. And in the end, it's, I think, been left to Garda play for a goal kick.
It has, and just as we tick into half-time in the other game, it's 1-1 between Algeria and Austria.
Yeah, it's, again... Is it shocking that there's been an equaliser in that game? I don't know. I've got to stop feeding into the narrative that they're playing for a draw in that game, and we'll find out at half-time what the standard of football has been like. But it is now level in that one. It doesn't really make a difference. Austria is still set to finish second. Algeria still set to finish third. Algeria need to beat Austria to finish second. There's going to be 5 minutes at the end of this first half added on by the fourth official. There's always 3 minutes at least because of the hydration break. A couple of minutes, I think, because of the VAR check for the penalty. And we'll also making sure that Marcus Senesi was okay after that challenge that led to Lautaro Martinez's spot kick. As we're just seeing pictures of this goal for Algeria. Oh, that is quite comical. The Austrian man has let the ball over his head. It's come off of the corner flag. Then there's a centre-half that's been hit in the nether regions by the ball. And then it's a lovely bit of footwork from the Algerian man to open up the space and strike towards goal. It's quite an entertaining goal, as we say. You could probably play the Benny Hill theme song over that and it wouldn't feel out of place. In our game, no, Julian Alvarez trying to make inroads inside the penalty area. Challenge comes in, but the ball cleared only as far as Paredes. Ball towards the byline, kept in by Simeone. Just really good play from the Atletico Madrid man. Palacios now thought about the floated ball into the penalty area. Here now is Paredes, still battling, trying to open up the space. Challenge comes in the end, though, by Al Rabada. And a long ball sent over the top now, looking towards Alaziza. Was he fouled from behind there? Referee says no. And actually, he's going to give the free kick to Argentina after the challenge on Marcus Senesi.
Yeah, it's a bit of a letdown there for the for Jordanian man, because he obviously thought that there was a foul on him, but he was just a little bit too keen to get past Senesi, and the referee felt there was just a bit too much contact from him in the end.
Yeah, for Curry it was, heading over the top, but he was thwarted in the end. As we just get the as things stand table for Group J. Of course, Argentina still top, 4 points between... 4 points each for Austria and Algeria. Here comes Lautaro Martinez now looking for the flicking behind towards Lo Celso. Cleared away well in the end by Al Rashtam. Out of play for a throw over on the far side. Good defending for the midfielder as he came back in support. And, Argentina take the throw in quickly. Here it is along halfway with Leandro Paredes, former PSG man. He'll play a nice ball forward towards Simeone. Held up well. Here's Nico Paz. Was he fouled there from behind? Referee says no. Paz does brilliantly well to stay on his feet initially, then looks towards the referee. And yeah, good decision from Istvan Kovac, because I think on one too many occasions they was knocked off balance. Nico Paz, he did his best to stay on his feet, but not much he could do.
No, not much he could do there. I think it is absolutely the right decision. There was a real tangle there. He did actually, as you said, even as he was turning, he was still trying to stay on his feet, but there was just too much contact.
Yeah, there was, and rightly so. The free kick given to Argentina, ready to be floated into the penalty area by Giovanni Lo Celso. I'd have argued it suits a right footer more. In fact, it may still be taken by a right footer in Leandro Paredes, and indeed it is. And it's on a bad ball towards the back post. Oh, and it should have been 3-0. I don't know how he gets to bend on the header like he does there, Nicolas Otamendi. But he should have made it 3-0, and it's just wide of the post in the end. That's a fantastic header. Again, goes completely unmarked. He's offside. It wouldn't have stood. But he gets that header to bend towards the far post, and really, he should have found the back of the net.
Well, he's pretty much always the target, isn't he, for an Argentinian set piece in terms of a ball in, and you can see why he's just so good with his head in those attacking situations.
Yeah, he certainly is. So close to making it 3-0 and really killing this game up. But at 2-0, you still feel like Jordan, if they get the next goal, could put themselves in a decent position. Here's Abu Dahad. Ball down the line, feeds Abu Taha. Back now to the number 4. He'll go back inside for Al Rabda. Ball forward is one into Olwan. Olwan's pass back was not great, but it's kept in play well by the 29-year-old. Here is Al-Arab. Back to Al-Rabda, who tries to get the ball moving in midfield, and it's a poor ball round the corner, and here's Lautaro Martinez driving forward, got options left and right, feeds Julian Alvarez inside the penalty, straight towards goal, well saved by the goalkeeper, then the challenge comes in from Nassib, and I think he's done well to win the goal kick in the end.
He has, yeah, he's forced a deflection back, even though the Argentina players think it's absolutely obvious that it should be a goal kick, so it should be a corner, but referee's already given it, and here come Jordan now.
Yeah, and they've stopped playing here, Argentina, and Jordan have been given a free pass into the attacking third. Here it is in midfield with Al Rashdan, held up well by Nicolas Tagliafico. Onto the inside to Olwan, back to Al Rashdan. Now into Fakori, he'll play it onto the near side for Haddad. Haddad back towards halfway for Nassib. We're very close to the end of this first, having played the 5 minutes. It's been one that suited Argentina down to the ground with those two relatively early goals. Maybe a last chance here for Jordan to get one back before half-time. Olwan attempted ball into the box. It's blocked well and cleared towards halfway, and there goes the half-time whistle. Well, a fantastic first half for Argentina. A rather comical free kick scored by Giovanni Lo Celso just before the 20-minute mark, before Lautaro Martinez scored his first ever World Cup goal from the penalty spot to make it 2. Jordan have had their moments, but yet to get a clear-cut opportunity, and at half-time it's Jordan 0, Argentina 2.